Alright, so what you're going to be doing is creating a 5-paragraph essay, or I should say part essay, instead of paragraph. Because you're actually welcome to do this in any number of formats. You can write, you can create a poster, you can create a blog, you can put up a Prezi, whatever you decide. Okay, but what this is going to be on are the different ways that dinosaurs and birds are related. Okay, so I laid out each part that I want you to have here. First part is going to be your introduction, okay, telling me how dinosaurs and birds are related. Again, you're going to just briefly introduce the parts, and then, tell me what you're going to be talking about in body paragraphs 2, 3, and 4, or body parts, sections 2, 3, and 4. Okay, first body paragraph is going to be discussing the similar traits dinosaurs and birds have. Okay, these are traits that are physically observed through the rock record. So things that we can look at fossils and look at current modern day birds and say they're similar because of these things. Okay. Do not include genetic evidence here. Genetic evidence is your next section. Okay, so this is how I'm going to grade you guys. Multiple similar parts, okay, of the bird used. Again, 4 to 6 will give you an A, or the most there. And again, show me that you understand the scientific concepts talked about. Okay. Now, the very first and best place to get this content would be from the 4 videos that I posted. Okay. We sort of left out the first section, but the first section really doesn't talk about any of this stuff. Okay. So you're going to do your research from what the 4 YouTube videos that I posted on Blackboard. Now, the second place, or the second paragraph, is going to discuss genetics. Okay, as it turns out, dinosaurs and birds are genetically very similar. Okay, their genetic blueprint is almost exactly the same. Things have just been turned off or changed since the dinosaurs are around. So that said, I want you to talk about at least 3, okay, genetic similarities between dinosaurs and birds. Okay, researchers in the video uncover 3 of these. You can use those 3s, and you can go beyond that if you'd like to go ahead and research on the internet as well. Okay, but dinosaurs and birds are very genetically similar. Okay, now paragraph 4 is going to be a little bit more research involved for you. Okay, or part 4 is going to be more involved for you. I give you these 2 creatures. Okay, they were creatures of the day that I've given in the past. You guys are going to have to go out and kind of read about them, learn about them yourselves. Okay, but Deinonychus, which was a feathered velociraptor, my personal favorite dinosaur, and then Archaeopteryx, which was the first bird. Okay, go on, research about these guys, and use these 2 as examples as to how they can kind of give us the link between dinosaurs and birds. Both of these creatures' traits, behaviors, and physical appearances are very similar to dinosaurs and also to birds, and so they can be used as pieces of evidence supporting the paper saying that dinosaurs and birds are related. Okay. Now again, discussion needs to talk about these 2 guys, the fossilized evidence that we see within those 2 creatures, and then also give me a very good understanding or evidence of your understanding of these 2 guys. Okay. Lastly, conclusion paragraph or conclusion part. Okay. Now, you guys have a video that you'll be watching online, or a series of videos. Okay. This worksheet that you guys have is probably, in my opinion, the best place to go and get your research from. Okay, these questions are specific to those videos. Like I said, the first part is missing for whatever reason on YouTube, so I think the first question is actually picked up here. So you're excused from answering these 3. We'll talk about them in class, but you don't need them to answer the bird essay. Okay. I would try very hard to get all these questions answered as you watch this video, because they're going to be very, very helpful to you developing your case between how dinosaurs and birds are genetically similar, physically similar, and then using the examples of Archaeopteryx and Deinonychus. Now that said, I used to always give Deinonychus and Archaeopteryx creature of the days, so I'll do that for you guys right here. I'm going to cut out the videos, but I still want you guys to see the 2 creatures of the day. Okay, so first one we'll go to, I believe, is Deinonychus. As soon as the PowerPoint pops up here. Yes, Deinonychus. Okay, so this guy, nicknamed Terrible Claw, early Cretaceous, so he was kind of far along, pretty well adapted and developed, descendant of the Velociraptor, member of this Demosaurid family, basically a family of raptors that have feathers. Okay, now again, we think that they might be a link to modern day birds. So Here's a fossilized example of him. Again, it wasn't super big. You guys probably think of Jurassic Park raptors being the ones that are, as tall as we are. But actually, that's not the case. He was about 3 meters long from tip to tail, about a meter or so tall, maybe a little less. But this thing was super athletic. Okay, could climb trees. We think so based off of the limbs that it has. Terrible claw nickname comes from this claw that actually, as it runs, stays off of the ground because it's so sharp. They want to maintain the sharpness. Now, a couple artist representations of this guy. But this picture is our evidence that he had fossils. Okay, this is a Deinonychus fossil. You can see the jawbone here, teeth. Okay, but also notice that around the background we have feathers, plumage. Okay, so we have fossilized evidence that dinosaurs did have feathers, some of them. Okay, so here's another representation of what this guy looked like. Now again, I would suggest you going out and getting a little more research, learning a little bit more about this guy as you talk about him in your essay. Okay, the other creature I want to talk about is Archaeopteryx. Okay, late Jurassic, middle of when the dinosaurs were around. We think he had more in common with theropods, bipedal dinosaurs, those dinosaurs that walk on 2 feet, than modern day birds. Okay, we believe he's the first feathered bird. Now, here's a famous fossil where you can actually see the plumage. Now, for the first time in evolutionary history that we know of, flight feathers show up. So Deinonychus had some rather primitive feathers, but nonetheless, there were feathers on a dinosaur. Okay, but here you'll notice this guy has, right here you can really notice that these feathers are arranged and organized much like organisms that live today. Okay, but again, notice the long tail that birds no longer have, and then again, notice the beak and the big hands. He still had claws, okay, and was a bird. So here's one artist representation of what he may look like. Again, dinosaur beak and head, teeth, claws, okay. Real developed plumage. Now, some people debate and say that this guy might not have been that good of a flyer, and in fact might have been more of a puddle jumper where he would run, jump, and just coast, because there's debate as to how well developed the feathers are. But we still know that he had feathers, and they were designed to be flight feathers for the first time in evolution. Okay, so a whole bunch of different representations of this guy there, but again, wanted you guys to know about him because he is going to be included in your research. Okay, so again, be sure to go about your research, have your 5-part essay done. Again, realizing that your essay can be something more than just an essay or a paper. You can do it in any normal or any multiple formats, just making sure that you satisfy the rubric requirements. Any questions, email me. This is due next time we meet, and it will be on Tuesday.